The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had.
The same Steve who went to see Mark Curry perform his entire sitcom and then stole everything that Mark Curry had now has a sitcom where he plays the principal, wears a suit, and then gets this high top fade that makes all black men think he has the best lineup in the industry, and it's a man unit. Then you ask, why aren't you a movie star? This is the same black man who detested Bernie for the same reason. No, you couldn't be a movie star because there are 30,000 news scripts written in Hollywood each year, and not a single one of them calls for a country-dwelling black man who can't talk well and appear like Mr. Potato Head. I've portrayed numerous characters in 60 films. I'm not Cat Williams in Hold Up Tommy. Hold up, Tommy, so you're a radio personality and comedian, and now you have a game show. I'm going to go on Sheeted Shar Show and accuse you real. They've been on the internet and watched us trash each other. They've watched the highest-rated podcast launch with 51 million views because someone went on there and told lies about black celebrities nonstop. Tell the truth to you, Frankie. When the promoter approached me about this idea in October, I shot it down because that's not how I've ever promoted a show. You see, I've always been on tour with some real monsters. I tour with the Kings. I've performed on stage with said DL and Bernie Man at the same time. It's always been a camaraderie. You see, we're going out here to get the people the best show we can give them, and that's how we've always promoted comedy shows. Now, turning this into some sort of little beef doesn't have anything to do with me. You know, I've heard all the YouTube videos and all that kind of thing, but that doesn't have anything to do with me. Since his viral interview with Cat Williams, Shannon Sharpe has become a hot topic in 2024, making waves, not only in the sports world, but also in the celebrity world. Several well-known celebrities have appeared on his show and shared some amazing stories, but the interview has had its ups and downs. Recently, Shannon talked about some of those struggles in an interview with Cam Newton, highlighting how things have changed since that viral interview in both positive and negative ways. Cat Williams had warned him that people would come after him because the interview exposed some industry secrets, and now Shannon is experiencing that firsthand. Some people are even refusing to sit down with Shannon for interviews. They agree to come on the show, but then back out at the last minute. But Sim, I didn't know it was going to cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was going to move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that L. But if you remember, he said this is going to put you in another dimension. He definitely did. He said, no, they're going to come for you. I said, can't come for me for what I didn't say anything right. He said, they're going to come. And they're going to say a lot of different things. And there are going to be some people that you thought you might be able to get that they're not going to come now, right? And that's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it. And then no call, they won't. So for the song, it seems that Shannon is going through some tough times right now. But today's video focuses on all the drama between Shannon Sharpe and Steve Harvey. Stay tuned as we delve into every detail because the drama is bound to intensify. This will be the TAC of 24. He looks at me like if I'm staring at you, Cam, and says, no way, I'm like you think. He then says, Shannon, this is going to go viral. First things first, how did everything between Steve Harvey and Shannon Sharpe start? Surprisingly, Shannon Sharpe and Cat Williams actually had a joint interview on Club Shay prior to Cat Williams's interview. With approximately 8 million views, this was Shannon Sharpe's most viewed interview. The conversation covers a lot of material, but the two main topics we'll be concentrating on are Steve Harvey's account of his homelessness and his thoughts on the Comedy Kingdom's Kings. This part of the interview provided valuable insights into the world of comedy and the camaraderie among the kings of comedy, showcasing the impact and legacy exactly where the drama begins. All of the information you are hearing seems perfectly fine and normal, but this was before the Cat Williams interview, as we mentioned earlier. Let's just say Cat Williams had some things to say about Steve Harvey, which really escalated everything. As we all know, throughout the entire interview, Cat Williams wasn't scared to call anyone out, and Steve Harvey was one of those guys. Cat focused on two main points that Steve mentioned in his interview with Shannon: his story about being homeless and his reflections on the kings of comedy. Cat called him out on these stories, questioning their authenticity. We'll let you watch what he had to say about Steve Harvey. But it's clear that Cat's accusations added fuel to the fire and escalated the tension between Shannon Sharpe and Steve Harvey, the same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business. And it's a man unit. Then you ask, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. That's the same Negro that hated on Bernie with the same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them ask for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I'm not portraying Cat Williams in that movie. It's like Steve Harvey telling people he was homeless once. It's my tale, not his. I've played a number of characters in 60 movies. When Steve Harvey and Mark Curry were on tour together 25 years ago, he was never homeless. He was earning $3,000 per show in cash and performing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Where are you saying that about the first wife you mentioned? You forgot to mention that you told us it was her and you married someone else who thought like a man. Indeed, this is when things really got heated between Shannon and Steve. He said what he said on his podcast and made it public. As a result, there are rumors that Steve Cat Williams has interviews from more than 15 years ago in which he discusses cats. We'll let you watch those for yourself. To be honest, Frankie, when the promoter approached me with this idea in October, I had no idea what it was about and immediately turned it down, because that's not how I've ever advertised a show. You know, I've always been on tour with some real monsters, man. I'm with the Kings. You know, I've performed on stage with both DL and Bernie Man at the same time. It's always been a friendly environment. You know what I mean. We go out here to give the people the best show we can give them, and that's how we've always promoted comedy shows. Now, you know, to turn this into some sort of little beef that has nothing to do with me. That's not how I do things. You know, I've heard all of the YouTube videos, I've heard all of the interviews and stuff like that, but it has nothing to do with me. This is a little beef thing that everyone wants to start because they want to establish a name for themselves. That's cool, but you're not going to do it right here either. Take a peek at some of the drama currently playing out in the world of celebrities. Cat Williams' explosive interview on Club Shay set off a chain reaction that